Correction, I accidentally stopped the recording, so I've started it up again. This time I'm going to pause it properly, though. Alright, we made it in. So we will continue. Assuming everyone hits the little button to start. Come on. You can do it. Do it. One more DPS. There we go. Now, people might have already started running by the time the cutscene ends, because everyone's done this and they just want to do it fast. But shouldn't be too bad. Let's see. We're gonna zoom out so you can see the whole thing. Throw Peloton down on everybody. Yeah. Since this is one of the oldest raids, everybody kind of knows where to go, especially since I don't see any sprouts here. So you see that person with the crown and hammer next to their name. That means they're a crafting mentor for the crafting jobs. If they didn't have the hammer, if they just had the crown, they would be a regular mentor for the combat jobs. Wait for everyone to get in. Cool. There are polite people. This is gonna look kind of busy, but that's why I'm just gonna use my area of effect attacks. Don't have to worry about targeting things. Oh, I got hit pretty hard there. Oh, I have become deceased. That was probably my fault. We can be a little bit more cautious now, I guess, to avoid that. Actually attack from a distance like I'm supposed to. So over on the right, you'll see the list of objectives for the raid. Yes, I'm ready. Can I remove these? No. I'd have to go into the user interface settings to move the other alliances. Oh, the tank isn't taking nowhere. There we go. They're supposed to take that dragon to the north end of it. Doesn't look like they're doing that. There's nothing technically wrong with tanking it in the center of the room. It's just easier to tank them at the north end. Easier on everyone else. There we go. Looks like somebody's working on it. He rises 3 times, or you have to kill him 3 times. There we go. Then we take this little teleporter. Have that? No. Agreed on it. No, only rolled an 11. Probably not going to get that eye patch. Cool as this. So when you're rolling for loot, you can select need if the job you currently are can equip it. And otherwise you can select greed or pass. Rolling need will take precedence over anybody who rolls greed, so you could roll a 1 on need and it would beat a 99 on greed. This bit, you can see how the alliances are labeled. The idea is to split them, because 4 people have to stand on, like, that purple pad. Somebody pulled before everyone's in. Four people have to stand on each pad, so our purple one corresponds to the boss at the far end, and then our boss is on a blue one, so that blue pad is who has to stand on it. I stepped off by accident. And if you don't have 4 people on your pad, the corresponding boss is invulnerable. Just a complication they throw in. Okay, and see, our pad went out, the one we were supposed to stand on, which means that the purple boss is dead. That one's just slightly too far away to attack. Go. Now for this one, so people with the blue lasers attached to them have gone insubstantial, and they're the only ones who can hurt the boss. So the rest of us wait for all of the additional enemies that the boss summons into the arena and fight those. So we have another teleporter to click on. More loot to roll on. I don't want any of that. Now we go straight up the center. We are 1/3 done. Or 2/3 done. Sorry. Jump over a little wall. Into the next area. So we're Alliance C, which means, once again, we fight the thing on the right. You get those 3 big demon-looking things, and they need to be kept separate. If they get too close to each other, they take less damage. Now that we've killed ours, we're free to go help the other groups. And now that they're all dead, we gotta kill the thing in the middle before it explodes and kills all of us. So he's gonna call down a big ass meteor at some point, but before he does, he's gonna drop some smaller rocks. Standing behind the smaller rocks will protect us from this giant meteor when he calls it down. So, like that. It up a lot. See, everybody who got caught in the big meteor died instantly. Cool. This green rock, this protection rock dropped close enough that I can still attack behind it. But with people dead, he's not dying fast enough. There's a rock. Ah, we did it. Before he could fully drop the 3rd meteor. Some people being sloppy here at 8:30 in the morning. So now that we've cleared all 3 wings, it opens up. This thing. A pathway to the final boss. very large. See, everybody gone. They didn't skip the cutscene. Okay, we'll take the teleporter to get there quickly. It's okay if we don't make it in before it. Yeah, if we don't make it in before it seals off. It lets you. It gives you the option to just teleport directly into it. Walking back to the center, which means he's about to cast a big attack that'll kill everyone if we don't all get back to our pads this time, which we did, as you can tell from that barrier that went up. We'll do that again at about 25% health. The tank wants to move him off the center so that he's not sent to start to walk back to the center, because he casts that big attack from the middle, and if he's already standing there, it's harder to tell he's about to do it. We almost didn't make it. Yay. So, we commend a player. Roll on this loot. Do I have this? Yes. What about this? No. Don't want that. I don't need any of this. Alright, see, that wasn't too bad. Wait, let me zoom back in. You can see the crystal tower up there through the door. There's all my friends. Ho there, Asuka. Very impressive, I must say. Your name shall be writ large in the volumes that are sure to be penned on this historic expedition. The scale of this structure defies comprehension. Someone plainly thought bigger was better. According to the findings of my Baldessian colleagues, the Crystal Tower was constructed to collect and store the endless energies of the sun, a characteristically ambitious undertaking. Now, what of the tower's inner defenses? Judging by your haggard expression, clearing out the labyrinth was no small feat. A giant of a man wielding a shimmering scimitar, you say? Yes, that will have been Phlegethon. Not Acheron, Phlegethon. He was a hero of the Allegan Revolution. And you gleaned that from what exactly? His choice of weapon? Well, I am a historian, and I have a certain, shall we say, affinity for the lore of the Allegan Empire. It is, of course, all knowledge gleaned from musty scrolls and tomes. The ancient texts claim that the Crystal Tower is defended by the champions of Eld, resurrected and augmented through the Allegan's extraordinary technology. Chief, you need to see this! Well, there it is, the foot of the tower. What surprises do you have in store for us, I wonder? I can't tell you how glad I am to have you with us on this little jaunt, my old friend. Had you not beaten a path through the maze, I very much doubt we'd be standing here now. Well, we have much to discuss and digest. Let us retire to St. Coinac's Find, for the present, and there plan our next step. Lest there be any doubt, our expedition has some way yet to go. Yes, let's. So, back to St. Coinac's Find. Oh, I can't fly in here. So there are 2 more raids in this storyline. Just so you have an idea of how much longer it'll go before we go back to the main story. The way New Game Plus is structured, we had to do this as a detour. If you're playing it for the first time, you can do the main story and this story at the same time. But it is what it is. So good of you to join us, Asuka. Our meeting would be dull indeed without a full account of your experiences in the labyrinth. Take a moment to collect yourself, and when you are ready, we shall debate how best to proceed. Yeah, let's. For prosperity. The Fellowship of Noah being accounted for, it is time this assembly was called to order. Brambrose will be presiding over the meeting, if you would be so kind as to inform him of your readiness to proceed. That was a quick quest. Welcome back, Asuka. I have just been reading about your encounter in the Labyrinth of the Ancients. It pleases me greatly to note that you seem none the worse for the experience. For your reference, I have added my own notes to Graha's preliminary expedition report, and begun compiling a Crystal Tower survey log. The information contained therein will be available to you at all times. Should you have any questions, you need only ask. Now that if there are no objections, I shall begin with a summary of the expedition's key accomplishments. Yeah, we can do that. In the course of this, our first foray into the grounds of the Crystal Tower, we succeeded in neutralizing the structure's outer defenses, before proceeding to secure the maze surrounding the base of the spire. According to Asuka's account, the labyrinth's defenses were most emphatically active. Disturbingly, her report also mentions a violent encounter with a sentry heavily augmented by Allegan technology. In short, our misgivings were well founded. The Crystal Tower was not simply thrust above ground by the chaotic shifting of the earth. It has somehow been reawoken. If, as seems increasingly likely, the tower's secrets should prove too dangerous to share with the world, we will have no choice but to contain them. Short of leveling the place, this will almost certainly involve returning its mechanisms to a state of dormancy. To do that, however, we will first need to address the question of how they work, the answer to which must surely be waiting for us inside the tower itself. In conclusion, this is where we must go. A task rather easier said than done if the perils of the labyrinth are any indication. Then I move that all further exploration of the tower be delayed until such time as an exhaustive analysis of the structure's defenses has been completed. Master Garland, may I entrust this task to you? It would be my pleasure. Don't forget about us. It's like you said, Chief. We have founded the Ironworks to make sure the technology was used for the right reasons, and that means making sure it's not used for the wrong ones. We wouldn't be doing our jobs if we didn't see this through to the end. Lads, well, I hope you're ready for some back-breaking chores. Well, everything seems to be in hand here, so I shall take my leave of you for the present. If I am to witness this valiant tale unfold with mine own eyes, I must needs hone my martial skills ere we ascend the spire. You'll do nothing of the sort, Graha. Your knowledge may prove useful to Master Garland's investigation. Grumble. As an observer, I am not, strictly speaking, subject to your authority. Pray do not mistake my intent, Asuka. I am well aware that I shall never be a match for one with your innate talents, however hard I train. Be that as it may, pray do not allow your skills to rust from disuse during the coming pause. We will need you fighting fit if our subsequent forays are to prove as productive as this one. Mark me, we have not yet caught more than the briefest glimpse of that which time has obscured. Soon, however, we shall cast off the veil and gaze upon the glory of the Allegan Empire. And with that encouraging thought in mind, it is time to bring this assembly to a close. Let us all focus on the tasks at hand, that our next expedition may begin all the sooner. Meeting adjourned. Such a terrible mess. Yet it does leave the door wide open, so to speak. One cannot help but be impressed. I'm beginning to understand the reliance you place on adventurers, old friend. So, this is the legacy the Allegan Empire left behind. If my readings are correct, the energy source waiting atop the tower is a match for even the Ultima weapon. Nay, more than a match. A new toy for me to play with. Dun dun dun! I believed the fates had conspired to deny me my just rewards once again, but it would seem they had a greater destiny in mind for me. And so long as my ambition burns, I shall strive to seize it. The dream lives on, Sid. Do not disappoint me. Nero. Well, we can start the next quest. Circus Tower. Ah, 'tis you, my friend. You are doubtless eager to hear of our progress on the Crystal Tower. Excellent. I'd be disappointed to hear otherwise. Of course, disappointed is the word of the day, I fear. I'm ashamed to say that there's nothing worthwhile to report. The suns continue to probe the labyrinth of the ancients, and every day brings new discoveries. Alas, the same cannot be said of the Crystal Tower proper. We've not been able to set so much as a single foot inside it. You will recall how the 8 sentinels stood between us and the labyrinth initially. In like manner, the entryway to the principal spire, Circus Tower, the Allegans so called it, is also protected by technology far more advanced than our own. Sid and I have tried every trick we know, but without success. Frankly speaking, we are at a loss. It is discouraging, but we cannot give up. There must be a way in. And so the situation stands, my friend. Until we gain entry into the tower, I fear your talents shan't avail us. It will require time that I am loath to waste, but I have a mind to set my people to scouring such ancient texts as we have on hand. Perhaps we can be of assistance. And you are? Yeah, who are you? Be at ease, friends, for we share the self-same goal. I am Une, and my companion is called Doga. We are scholars of the Allegan civilization, sent by the students of Baldessian to assist in your endeavor. Une and Doga, rather unusual names for this day and age, if I might be forgiven for observing, but I digress. You claim to be here at the students' behest, but we have received nary a word of your coming. Moreover, in light of the recent incident at the Isle of Vale, I should think that they have rather more pressing concerns. We can only assume that the message failed to reach you due to some mishap. I assure you that we are here to help. What is it, Graha? 'Tis nothing. There was a pain, but it has subsided. Well, well, this is rather unexpected. Your right eye is the same as ours. The same? You have the Allegan eye as well. This sanguine hue is said to be a trait unique to the Allegans, yet I inherited it from my father as he did from his. Only one child in a single generation is born with the eye. All my life I have sought to learn the truth of its manifestation. If there is aught you know, I implore you to tell me. My deepest apologies, but we have no answers for you. Only one thing is certain: those who possess the trait are bound by fate to Alleg. As your eye has placed you upon the path you walk, so too have we come here to fulfill our destiny. Absurd though it may sound, it is the truth. It seems to me we have naught to lose by accepting their aid. What say you? If that is your wish, then so be it. Yet know that I still mean to verify your story with the students of Baldessian when I am able. I trust there will be no objections. Very well. As of this moment, I name Une and Doga advisory members of Noah. Without further ado, let us have them examine the circus tower entrance. I promise you'll not have cause to regret your decision. Asuka, I should be much obliged if you were to accompany our new friends to the tower. Biggs and Wedge are presently surveying the 8 sentinels. The 2 of them can show you the way. Upon arrival, pray report to Master Garland. He will brief you on the situation. I shall join you, Asuka. With Une and Doga's knowledge, along with your uncanny knack for setting events in motion, I am hopeful that we will finally see progress. Alright, let's go to the tower. Why can't I fly? Well, if it isn't Asuka eager to enter Circus Tower and kill everything in sight, no doubt. As I'm sure you've already heard, though, the place is locked up tight as a clam. New friends from the students, you say? Excellent. It's been slow going, or rather, no going for the chief. He'll appreciate the help. If you'll just follow me, I'll take you to him. Ah, some old faces to lift the spirit, and a couple of new ones besides. Allow me to introduce Une and Doga. They are scholars of ancient Alag, sent here by friends of Baldessian to aid in our investigation. We understand you're having trouble circumventing the tower's defenses. It is our hope that we can be of some small assistance. If your attire is aught to go by, your assistance should prove invaluable indeed. To begin with, let me tell you where we stand. Beyond rises Circus Tower, the principal spire of the structure collectively known as the Crystal Tower. The only way to get inside is through the proverbial front door, the imposing gate you see here. The problem is, we can't get it to open. It's sealed by some mechanism whose workings are an utter mystery to us. Having had no success via more orthodox methods, I went at it with everything from a pickaxe to a Magitech cannon. Nothing so much as put a scratch on it. For a blessing, the gate doesn't try to reduce us to ashes like the 8 sentinels, but that doesn't make it any less effective a security measure. It's fiendishly frustrating in its simplicity. The only clue we have is the elaborate device carved upon it. A man and a woman, respected. Elegant royalty, by my judgment. Precisely who these individuals were, we cannot say, nor do we know whether the device actually serves a purpose. Like as not, it is purely decorative. If you're thinking to force it, save your strength. It's no use. Just ask the calluses on my hands. Rest assured, we do not mean to waste our strength. Indeed. Why should we exert ourselves when the gate will open of its own accord? Witchcraft! I don't think any of us expected that to happen. 7 hells. What is this? What did you do? What are you? Piercing the heavens and gathering the light, a symbol of mankind's glory and might. Its virtue guarded by gates impregnable, only to those of royal blood answerable. Exactly as passed down through legend, I am delighted to see. Beg pardons for interrupting your bewilderment. I couldn't help but notice the remarkable playthings you acquired. Nero, you're still alive? Garland, Garland, if I didn't know better, I would say you weren't happy to see me. Ah, but I jest. In light of our recent meetings, you have every right to be wary. But rest assured I am no longer a threat to you. My legion is for all intents and purposes defunct, and my association with it means a tight noose awaits me back in Garlemald. And so I've been roaming this land Eorzea, a regular itinerant. In the course of my wanderings, I chanced to catch wind of your latest venture. It sounded positively fascinating, and so I decided to come here and join you. After the wrongs you've committed, you think us that gullible? If you are suspicious of my intent, 'tis only my just deserts, but I am determined to make amends. As a gesture of goodwill, I will share you what I know, starting with these two odd characters. As you are doubtless already aware, the Crystal Tower was the symbol of ancient Aleg's might and prosperity. Entry was permitted only to royalty and a select few individuals. According to the reports I have unearthed, only royal blood can open the gate. In other words, the Emperor and his progeny were living keys. You mean to say that these two are descended from Allegan royalty? Oh, I suggest nothing so glamorous. To put it plain, they are imitations of royalty, living keys born of Allegan ingenuity. Clones, I believe, is the name your creators gave your kind. Is that not so? 'Twould seem that the time for concealment is past. Pray accept our apologies. 'Twas not our intent to deceive. We simply wished to avoid causing undue alarm by prematurely making what many would consider deranged claims. If it please you, let us return to the 8 Sentinels. There is much and more to tell. Yeah. Very well. Nero. 7 hells, do you seriously mean to follow us around? Come, Garland, you know me better than to think that I spoke in jest. What more will it take for us to be reconciled? A gift, perhaps? An elegant tombstone. It holds the information I just shared with you, and a deal more besides. It used to be the jealously guarded property of the 14th Legion, but it's yours now. I wish you joy of it. I look forward to working together, old friend. Doga. If you are ready to listen, we shall tell you all. As it pertains closely to your investigation, your leader, Rambrose, may wish to be present. Yeah, let's have Rambrose come. Before we begin, pray allow me to apologize again. It was not our intent to deceive you. As you will have already gathered, we are not scholars sent by the students of Beldesian. Nay, we are clones, copies of people who once existed, given life through Allegan technology. This is rather a lot to take in. If it would not be considered unseemly, might I ask why you and yours were created? And more specifically, what is it that you seek to do? Answering your questions requires that we revisit Allegan history. Pray bear with us. The Allegan Empire reached its zenith long before our kind came into being. In that glorious age, the Crystal Tower stood tall as the symbol of Allegan pride. Parents took their children there that they might learn how the nigh limitless energy it produced brought prosperity to the whole empire. That prosperity, however, bred decadence, and the empire began to show signs of stagnation. This decline was made all the more rapid for want of strong leadership. In a matter of generations, the Allegan civilization became a pale shadow of its former self. Its once gleaming cities fell into disrepair, and its frontier lands were given over to the wilderness. Lamenting the pitiful state of affairs, one technologist made it his mission to restore Allag to greatness. Ammon was his name, and he believed that the ailing empire wanted for but a potent ruler, and none was more potent than its founding father, whom he sought to resurrect. The founding father? You cannot mean Emperor Xande. None other. As part of his experiments, Ammon created clones of the Emperor's descendants. We are the products of that experimentation, copies of Une and Doga. Historical texts mention the reigns of 2 Allegan emperors named Xande. It was commonly believed that the second was the namesake of the first. After all, such a custom is not uncommon among royalty and commoners alike. To think that the two were in fact one and the same. I keep fluctuating on his voice. Aye, Xande returned from the grave and assumed his throne once more, and true to Ammon's prediction, the Emperor restored his realm to the glory it once knew. Would that he could have been satisfied with that. In his previous life, the Emperor desired to bring the entire world under Allegan domination, an ambition that ultimately went unfulfilled. Having been granted a second chance, he was determined to succeed. Realizing that he needed more power to wage his war of conquest, Xande turned his sights toward a forbidden source, darkness. In order to learn how to harness this power, he converted the Crystal Tower into a restricted research facility. Darkness? Again? Seven hells, what is it with megalomaniacal rulers turning to darkness in their lust for power? Well, at least this one won't be bothering us, being thousands years dead and all. Would that you were right, Master Garland. Alas, Emperor Xande is very much alive. Within Circus Tower he still abides, his ambition burning all the more ardently for his empire's collapse. Wielding the power of darkness requires prodigious amounts of energy, energy that not even the Crystal Tower could produce. In order to augment the shortfall, Dalamud was created and launched into the heavens. On high it hung, gathering the sun's energy and channeling it to the tower below. However, a miscalculation resulted in a surge of energy that escaped into the land. This triggered an earthquake of unprecedented violence, the calamity that ushered in the Fourth Umbral Era. In the blinking of an eye, the mighty Allegan Empire was laid to waste. Yet even as the Crystal Tower was sinking into the earth, the technologist Ammon, now Emperor Xande's closest aide, invoked powerful magics and halted the flow of time. Every soul within the structure, the Emperor included, was placed in a deep slumber. In that state, they were to remain until the time was ripe to awaken. Eras came and went. After millennia lying dormant, Dalamud was summoned back to the earth. Its descent triggered the Seventh Umbral Calamity, in the wake of which the Crystal Tower re-emerged. At that moment, Emperor Xande awakened. In his lust for power, the Emperor consorted with darkness and was seduced by its corrupting influence. Even though his empire is now little more than a fading memory, he will stop at nothing to see his ambition realized. "'Tis for no other purpose but to put an end to Xande's madness that we exist. This is the mantle we have inherited from our namesakes, the true Une and Doga. Fearing what might befall the world, the two of them sought to thwart their emperor. They gave unto us their will, that we might carry on their mission should they fail. When we came to our senses within the Crystal Tower, we deliberated a course of action. Concluding that we alone could not overcome Xande, we struck out to find a worthy ally. It has taken years, but our search is finally over. 'Tis no ordinary woman who can cut a path through the labyrinth of the ancients. With you as our champion, Oscar Hasselpfeffer, we are confident that we can end Xande's dark ambition once and for all. Well, that'll teach me for speaking too soon. Setting my chagrin aside, I see now why you knew about the students of Beldacian, among a host of other things. You were observing our investigation the whole time. So, what will we do, Oscar? The world's in grave danger again, and it just so happens you're an expert at saving it. Well, we're gonna save it. You have our eternal gratitude. Together, let us see the Allegan Empire's dark past laid to rest. It has been our mission to recover the long-lost knowledge of the Allegan civilization. But what worth is that knowledge if it means subjecting the realm to peril? Truth be told, it pains me to think that the Tower's secrets can become lost to us. But the greater good must ever come first. Besides, no quantity of ancient relics can compare to our friends who lay in Doga, living, breathing Allegans. And so I hereby declare a change in Noah's objective. Henceforth we shall direct all efforts towards sealing off Circus Tower. Its dark secrets must never know the light of day. Oscar, as you did for us within the Labyrinth of the Ancients, I would have you enter the structure and eliminate hostile elements. Suffice it to say, this includes Emperor Xande himself. Meanwhile, the rest of us shall examine ways to isolate Circus Tower from the outside world. To work, then. Wait. There is something I must know. My right eye is like yours. Does this mean? You inherited the trait from your father, you said. Know that clones are unable to bear offspring. You have no cause for concern. The Allegan Eye, you called it, but to us it was the Royal Eye, owing to the fact that the trait manifests solely in those possessed of royal blood. I cannot well explain why the eye runs in your line, but I am disinclined to think it a coincidence. Though you are doubtless impatient to learn the truth, pray have patience. All will be revealed in due time. Graha, what do you have to say? My apologies if I've given you cause to worry. I am quite well, I assure you. As you can appreciate, there has been much for me to think of. But now is the time for action, not idle thoughts. Circus Tower awaits us. Your task is to eliminate all hostile elements within the structure, Xande himself included. This will afford us the chance to seal off the facility. May the crystal grant you strength. Alright, we will call it there though. Looking up at the tower. Because we'll go really long if we try to do the next portion. So that is where we'll call it for today.